Okay, here we are. I'm going to represent my ISC activity 1 for subject distributed and cloud computing. Now I am going to represent here the topic which is architecture style and traditional client server. Now what is architectural style? First we will go with the introduction. And architectural styles defines the structure and interaction of system components. Actually, we know the client server architecture is one of the earliest and most widely used model. It is based on request response mechanism in which client request and server response. How this is going to work, we will see afterwards. Before that, we are going to see architectural styles in distributed systems. The architectural styles in distributed systems, here client server model is there, in which I already told you, client request, server response. The second one is peer to peer model, in which each peer act as a client and server. Okay, which can be act as a client as well as server, and server as a client. The another one is here, architecture style is three tier, in which different layers are present, that is presentation, logic, and database layers. Another one is SOE. What is SOE? Service oriented architecture. In these independent services, what is that? SOA and REST. Okay, the microservices is also one of the architecture styles, which is small independent and cloud ready services. Okay, now I am going to represent here the most important topic for distributed client system ISC activity. Here is a client server. It is very basic and first model. So what is the client server? The client server means client sends a request for service and server responds these requests. Okay. In this way, communication happens through a network. That means a client on the desktop computer, okay, the person who requests through the browsers and server will be respond to the request. How these are working, we will see later. Before that, we are going to study characteristics. The characteristics here are, it is centralized server. Means centralized server manages all resources. Clients are dependent on server, which means request response model happen here. That is web browser and web server at an example I have already told you. Now, let's see what is architectural diagram. The architectural diagram here shows that multiple clients on internet requesting to the server and server responding by taking data from the database, and the response is going again back to the clients. In this way, request response model take place. Now, what are the advantages? I already told you it is basic one, so it is simple and easy to implement. Now, centralized data management happen. Okay. Now, data management happened here is centralized. Means client need less hardware power, and we can say better security due to central control. Okay, central control. Now, speaking about exactly advantages, uh, that I have already told you. Okay, I already told you that it better security due to centralized control. Now, what are the limitations? Means if centralized structure fail, that is single point of failure happen. And speaking about the performance, is a bottleneck with many client. Now, less scalable for large system. What does means pooling of the resources cannot be happen. Okay, and the cost, it is higher for maintaining the server. The cost will be higher for maintaining the server. Now, what are the real world examples? If we go for email system, that is Gmail and Outlook, online banking application, websites, I already told you, browser and server. Okay, in this way, these are the example and client server architect take place. So, speaking about the client server more above, is client which are requesting and server is responding. Okay, in this way. Speaking to the conclusion here is client server model is the foundation of distributed system, still widely used today, but in limited in scalability and fault tolerance. Means modern systems are evolved now into which multi-tier, peer-to-peer, and cloud architect. Okay, I am here going to stop my presentation, and thank you for listening my presentation for distributed and cloud computing ISC activity. Thank you.